Why did the papers land in my hands in a bright office lobby, with my co-workers watching like it was a show? How did one reunion kiss turn into a legal schedule that started today, while my husband stood calm and said nothing? I still told myself he was doing this to punish me, until I saw what he had saved. My name is Eulalie March, and I used to think my life was fine. I had a husband who paid the bills on time and made the coffee the same way every morning. I had 2 kids who still held my hand in public. People around me said, stable job, stable home, stable marriage. But stable started to feel like a cage, and I told myself that a cage is still a cage, even if it has soft pillows. That morning, the kitchen looked like every other morning. Ethan stood by the sink with his work mug. He rinsed it and set it on the far side of the counter, like he wanted space even from a cup. He asked what time the reunion started. I said it was later, and I said he did not need to act like my manager. He asked if I wanted him to come. I said it would be weird if he came, because it was my old school crowd. I said he would only sit there and look bored. Ethan did not raise his voice. He asked why I sounded angry. I said I was not angry, and I said he always made things heavy. I told myself I was being honest. I was also steering the talk away from what I wanted, which was freedom without questions. When he reached for his phone, the screen lit up. I saw a calendar reminder with a random place name and a time in the morning, like someone had planned a short stop. He moved his thumb fast, and the screen went dark. He noticed my eyes on it. He asked if I needed something. I said no. I smiled in a way that looked kind. I went to the hallway mirror and checked my face. I was 34, but I still knew how to look fresh. In my head, I said, respect follows results, and I had results. At work, people listened to me. At home, people expected me to be quiet and grateful. I did not want grateful. I wanted seen. At the office, the air smelled like printer paper and cheap hand soap. My desk was near the HR files, and I liked that. Files meant control. My coworker Tessa walked by and asked how my morning was. I said it was fine. She looked at my phone when it buzzed. I turned it over fast. The message was from Caleb Archer. He was an old name that still felt warm in my chest. He asked how life was treating me. He said he heard I was coming to the reunion. I told myself it was normal. People check in, people grow up, people reconnect. I wrote back that I was doing well and that it would be nice to see familiar faces. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. Caleb asked if we could meet a little early, just to talk. He said it would be good to catch up without the noise. My hands moved before my mind did. I said sure. Then I stared at my own words like they belonged to someone else. I told myself it was closure. I told myself Ethan had no right to fear a conversation. I kept working, but my focus drifted. A spreadsheet was open on my screen, and I typed numbers while thinking about Caleb's smile from years ago. Ethan's smile was different. Ethan smiled like a person who tried. Caleb smiled like a person who expected to win. At lunch, Daphne Klein called me from the salon. She asked if I was ready to look like my old self. I said yes, and I said I needed a big change. She asked if Ethan was coming to the reunion. I told her he was acting weird about it. She said men got scared when women got their sparkle back. I laughed and said he could deal with it. I did not tell Daphne about Caleb's message. I liked keeping it just mine. Secrets felt like power. After work, I sat in the car and scrolled social media. People were posting about the reunion. Someone wrote that it would be the best night of the year. I imagined walking into that room and seeing heads turn. I imagined Ethan watching and feeling small. That thought should have bothered me, but it did not. I told myself he needed a lesson. I told myself he had gotten too comfortable. In the school pickup line, Mia climbed into the back seat with her backpack slipping off one shoulder. She asked if Dad was coming tonight. I said Dad was tired from work. Noah asked if we could get fries. I said maybe, and I said we had to be quick. Mia asked why Dad had been quiet lately. I said Dad was thinking too much. I said he worried about things that did not matter. She looked out the window like she was trying to read my face in the glass. I felt a small pinch in my stomach, and I pushed it away. At home, Ethan was in the living room with a kid's book open on his lap. He asked if the pickup was smooth. I said it was fine. He asked if I wanted to talk about the reunion plan. I said there was nothing to plan. I said it was one night and he was acting like it was a trial. He asked what I meant by trial. I said he always wanted rules. I said he always wanted me to reassure him. He said he only wanted to understand. I said understanding was not his job. Ethan stood up and went to the kitchen. I followed, because I did not like being left behind. He opened a drawer, and I heard a soft click like a lock. He took out nothing I could see and shut it again. The sound stayed in my head longer than it should have. He asked if I was meeting anyone before the reunion. I said no. The lie came out smooth. I felt proud of how calm I sounded, and then I felt angry that I had to do it at all. I asked why he was interrogating me. He said he was not interrogating. He said he was asking. I told him he was insecure. I told him it was unattractive. He looked at me for a moment like he was holding words back. He asked if I still respected him. I said respect was not the issue. I said he was making up drama. Later, when I brushed my teeth, I heard a small vibration from the counter. Ethan's phone lit up for a second. I saw an alarm label before it faded. It said, paper drop. I did not know what that meant. I told myself it was work. I told myself it was none of my business. Still, my skin felt hot under my pajama shirt. I went to bed and waited for Ethan to follow. He did not. I heard steps on the stairs and a door closing downstairs. I told myself he was sulking. I turned my phone over in my hands and opened Caleb's chat again. I stared at his last message about meeting early. Then I typed back a short reply and hit send, even though my heart was beating too fast for something I claimed was harmless. The next day, I moved like I had a plan, even though my plan was mostly a feeling. At work, I pretended I was calm. I answered emails, and I smiled at people. Inside, I felt bright and restless. I kept checking my phone like it was a mirror. Caleb sent a message and asked if I still wanted to meet early. I said yes, and I added that it would be quick. I told myself that quick meant safe. I told myself that a talk was not a betrayal. I also did not tell Ethan about it, and that should have been my first clue. In the afternoon, I left the office on time for once. Tessa asked if I had a date night. I said it was just a reunion. She asked if Ethan was coming. I said maybe, like it was a small detail. She looked at me for a second like she was thinking. I did not like that look, so I changed the topic and asked about payroll. I drove to Daphne's salon. The parking lot was full, and I liked that. Crowds made me feel important. Inside, the smell of hairspray hit me right away. Daphne hugged me and asked if I was ready to remind everyone who I was. I said yes, and I said I was tired of being ignored. She asked if Ethan supported me. I said he acted supportive, but he always made me feel guilty for wanting anything. Daphne rolled her eyes and said, "Men got comfortable when women got tired." I agreed fast. I wanted someone to mirror me. She started doing my hair, and she talked the whole time. She said the reunion was my stage. She said I should post pictures and make Ethan see what he had. I said Ethan did not own me. I said he had no right to question me. Daphne asked if I ever missed my old life. I said I missed being admired. She asked if any old flames would be there. I shrugged like it did not matter, but my face felt warm. She noticed. She asked if I still thought about Caleb. I said it was just history. She smiled like she knew better. While she worked, my phone buzzed with a missed call from a number with no name. I looked at it and felt a strange pinch. I told myself it was spam. I swiped it away and watched Daphne pin my hair. I did not want anything to pull me out of the moment. When I got home, Ethan was packing a small bag for the kids. He said he had promised Mia a library visit in the morning. I asked why he was packing now. He said mornings were easier when things were ready. I said he was acting like we were traveling. He said it was only a habit. I saw a folder on the table with a simple label that said household. It sat there like it belonged, like it had always been there. I asked what it was. Ethan said it was just bills and notes. I said he was being dramatic with paperwork. He said it helped him think. I told myself he was trying to look like the responsible one. I told myself he was setting a scene. I went to the bedroom to change. I put on a dress that felt like a different life. Ethan came to the doorway and asked if we could agree on one thing. I asked what. He said he wanted us to be respectful in public. I laughed and asked if I ever embarrassed him. He said he did not want to fight. I said he always made normal things sound like danger. He asked if I had been unhappy for a long time. I said he was making it about him again. I said I was just tired and I needed fun. He said he could come with me and we could leave early if I wanted. I said he would ruin it by looking sad. He said he would try not to. On the drive downtown, the kids stayed with Renee for the night. Renee had said she would handle bedtime. She also said Ethan needed to loosen up. I agreed with her. It was easier when someone older backed me. We reached the hotel, and the lobby lights were bright. People were already there, taking photos near a banner. Ethan walked beside me, not too close. He asked if I wanted to hold hands. I said no, and I said we were not in middle school. He nodded like he accepted it, but his face changed. I told myself he was trying to guilt me on purpose. At the elevator, I saw Caleb across the lobby. He looked the same in a way that made time feel fake. He smiled when he saw me. He walked over and asked how I had been. I said I was great. I said I had a good job and 2 kids. I said it like a resume, and I watched his eyes. He said I looked amazing. I let that land. Ethan stepped forward and offered his hand. Caleb shook it, but it was quick. Ethan said it was nice to meet him. Caleb said the same, but he looked at me more than he looked at Ethan. I told myself it was normal. I told myself Ethan should not be so sensitive. Inside the ballroom, music played low and people talked loud. The room smelled like perfume and warm food. Old classmates came up and asked where I lived now. I said I was in the suburbs, and I said it like it was a choice, not a trap. Someone asked if Ethan was my husband. I said yes. Daphne arrived with 2 friends and acted like a queen entering a party. She hugged me and then looked at Ethan. She asked if he was okay with being the only husband there. Ethan said he was fine. Daphne laughed and said he was brave. People started taking group photos. Someone asked for a couple's picture, and I hesitated. Ethan asked if it was okay. I said yes, but I made a face like it was a chore. We stood together. Ethan smiled small. I smiled wide. I knew how to look happy. Then someone made a joke about glow-ups and said Ethan looked the same. People laughed. I laughed too, because laughing kept me safe. Ethan looked down for a second. He asked later if that joke bothered me. I said he was imagining insults. I said everyone was just having fun. I said he should not be so fragile. Caleb moved closer as the night went on. He asked if I wanted to see the old yearbook table. I said maybe. Ethan asked where I was going. I said I was walking around. He asked if he should come. I said no, and I said he would cling too much and people would notice. Ethan stayed near the drinks table, holding his phone like he had nowhere else to put his hands. I saw his screen light up again for a second. I saw a recurring alert that said, "Meeting, personal." He turned it off fast. I told myself he was planning something, but I also told myself it could not touch me. I was the one with the story. I was the one everyone watched. Caleb leaned in and asked if we could talk for 1 private minute, just to catch up without the noise. I looked back at the crowd. I looked at Ethan's quiet face. Then I nodded and followed Caleb toward the hallway, telling myself I deserved one small thing. Caleb led me out of the ballroom like it was nothing. The hallway outside was quieter, with soft carpet and bright hotel lights. I told myself this was normal. I told myself I was only stepping away from noise, not stepping away from my life. He asked if I remembered the night after graduation when we walked by the river. I said I remembered, and I said I had been young and full of hope. He asked if I was happy now. I said I was fine. I did not say I felt bored most days. I did not say I felt invisible. Instead, I said, Ethan was a good man, but he did not understand me. Caleb nodded like that sentence made sense, like it was a fact and not a story I was building. He asked if Ethan treated me well. I said yes, and then I quickly added that Ethan was cold. I said cold like it explained everything. Caleb said I deserved warmth. I let that word sit between us. Warmth sounded like a right. We stopped near a framed picture on the wall, like two people who had planned this spot. Caleb stood closer than a normal friend. He asked if I ever thought about what could have been. I said I did sometimes, and I laughed in a small way, like it was harmless. He said he had never forgotten me. I told myself it was just a compliment. I told myself I could accept a compliment. I heard a door open somewhere behind us. I heard voices from the ballroom drifting into the hall. I knew we were not truly alone. That should have made me step back. Instead, it made me feel bold, like I was the kind of woman who did not fear witnesses. Caleb said he was proud of me for showing up tonight. He said I looked like I had finally come back to myself. I said I had changed a lot. He asked if I still believed in big love. I said I believed in feeling alive. He leaned in. For a second, I thought about Ethan standing by the drinks table, quiet, trying to be polite. I thought about his small smile in the photo. Then I thought about how no one in the room looked at him the way Caleb was looking at me now. I told myself Ethan had years of me. I told myself one moment could not hurt that much. Caleb kissed me. It was quick, but it was not nothing. It was not an accident. I did not push him away. I let it happen like I was accepting a prize. When we pulled apart, I saw a phone held up down the hallway, angled toward us. The screen glow was clear, and the person holding it did not lower it fast enough. My stomach dropped for a second, then my pride pushed it back up. I told myself it did not matter. I told myself people would only see what I wanted them to see. Caleb asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, and I said it was just a stupid reunion moment. He smiled like he liked that I minimized it. He asked if we should go back in. I said yes, and I fixed my hair with my fingers, like I was smoothing the truth. When we returned to the ballroom, the noise hit me again. Music, laughter, glasses clinking. I saw Ethan right away. He was not by the drinks table anymore. He was closer to the entrance, standing still. His face looked blank, but his eyes were not blank. His eyes looked like they had just seen something they could not unsee. He asked where I had gone. I said I was just talking. He asked who I was talking to. I said Caleb, and I said he was being polite. Ethan asked why my lipstick looked smudged. I said he was staring too hard, and I said he was imagining things because he wanted a reason to be upset. Ethan did not shout. He asked if I had kissed Caleb. I laughed, like the question was silly. I said it was a greeting, and I said people did things differently at reunions. I said he was acting like a jealous teenager. I watched his face carefully, because if I could make him seem irrational, then I could stay in control. Daphne noticed the tension and walked over fast. She asked what was going on. Ethan said he was leaving. Daphne asked why he was being dramatic. I said Ethan always tried to ruin my fun. I said he could not handle me being happy. Ethan looked at Daphne and then looked back at me. He asked me to stop making it a performance. I said he was the one making a scene. I said everyone was looking at us because he could not stay calm. That was not true, but I said it with confidence. Confidence changes rooms. A few classmates pretended not to listen, but they were listening. I saw one woman whisper to her friend. I saw a man glance at his phone like he was checking a recording. The air felt thin. Ethan said he was going to go. He asked if I wanted a ride home. I said no, and I said I did not need him to rescue me. I said he was trying to punish me by leaving. Ethan said he was not punishing me. He said he was removing himself. That word hit me the wrong way. It sounded clean. It sounded like he was taking the high road. I hated that. He walked out of the ballroom without pushing anyone, without cursing, without slamming anything. People watched him go, and that made me angry. I wanted him to fight. If he fought, I could point and say he was the problem. I followed him through the hotel lobby. My heels clicked loud on the floor. I called his name. He did not run. He did not hide. He walked like a man going to work. In the parking garage, the air was colder and smelled like oil. Ethan reached his car. I stood between him and the door. I asked what he thought he was doing. He asked me to move. I said he could not just leave me. He said he could, and he said he would. I told him he was overreacting. I told him it was one kiss and it meant nothing. He asked why I lied to his face in the ballroom. I said I did not lie. I said he twisted everything. I said he wanted to see me as bad, because it gave him power. I threw words like that because they usually worked. Ethan looked at me for a long moment. Then, he took his phone from his pocket and turned the screen down, like he did not want to show me anything. I heard a soft beep, like an app opening or closing. He did not explain it. He just asked me again to move. I stepped aside, but only because people could come around the corner at any time. I did not want to look desperate in public. Ethan got into the car. I said he was abandoning me. He said he was leaving a situation that was unsafe for his dignity. He did not say it like a threat. He said it like a rule. I stood there and watched the car back out slowly. The headlights swept across the concrete wall. He did not speed away. He drove like a person who did not want trouble. I pulled out my phone and started typing, fast and shaking. I told myself I would fix this by controlling the story. I told myself Ethan had forced my hand by walking out. I told myself I was still the good one, because I was the one who felt things. But when my messages delivered and no reply came back, the silence felt heavier than any argument. The next morning I woke up with a dry mouth and a hard jaw. My phone was full of my own messages to Ethan, one after another. They looked needy on the screen. I hated that. I told myself he pushed me into it by walking out. I told myself a good husband would have stayed and talked. When I went downstairs, the house felt split in half. Ethan was already up, but he was not in the kitchen. I heard him in the guest room, moving quietly. Mia and Noah ate cereal at the table. Mia asked where Dad was. I said he was being stubborn. Noah asked if Dad was mad. I said Dad was tired and dramatic, like it was the same thing. Ethan came out holding his work bag. He asked what time the kids needed to be at school. I said he knew the schedule. He said he would do drop-off. I asked why he was acting like a single parent. He said he was acting like a parent. His voice stayed even, and that made me feel like the angry one. I asked if we could talk about last night. He said we could talk about the kids and the week plan. I said he was punishing me with rules. He said he was keeping things calm. I told myself calm was just another way to control someone. After he left, I opened social media and searched for the reunion posts. I found the short clip from the hallway, blurry but clear enough. The caption said something like, "Wild reunion moment." My stomach flipped, but then I felt a rush. People were watching. That meant I could shape it. I shared a photo of myself from the ballroom, smiling with words about choosing joy. I did not mention the kiss. I did mention that some people could not handle a woman having fun. I made it sound like Ethan was the one who failed the night. Daphne messaged me fast and asked if Ethan was still sulking. I said yes, and I said he left me like I was nothing. Daphne said that was emotional abuse in a polite outfit. I liked that sentence. It gave me a label I could use. That evening, Daphne invited me to a rooftop bar. She said I should not sit at home and beg a man to love me. I said I was not begging. I said I was taking space. I did not say I was scared Ethan would never come back. The rooftop bar was full of people who wanted to be seen. Lights were strung overhead, and everyone held their phones like small shields. Daphne introduced me to two women from her salon. One asked where my husband was. I said he had stormed out of the reunion because he could not handle attention not being on him. The woman said that sounded controlling. I nodded like it was proven. Daphne asked if I was going to talk to Caleb again. I said it was not like that. She asked why I looked excited when I said his name. I said I was just happy to feel alive. She lifted her glass and said I deserved to feel alive. I lifted mine too. I told myself the toast was about my freedom, not about my bad choices. My phone buzzed while we talked. It was a message from Caleb asking if I got home safe. I wrote back that I did, and I added a smiley face like I was 16. Daphne saw the screen glow and grinned. She asked if Ethan had replied yet. I said no. Daphne said silence was a tactic. I said Ethan always loved tactics. When I got home, the lights were low. Ethan was on the couch with Noah asleep on his chest. The TV was on mute. Mia sat at the table drawing. Ethan looked up and asked if I had a good night. I said I did. He asked where I was. I said I was with friends. He asked which friends. I said he was not my parole officer. He stood carefully so Noah would not wake. He carried Noah to the bedroom. I followed him to the hallway and asked if we could stop pretending. He asked what I wanted. I said I wanted him to admit he embarrassed me by leaving the reunion. He said he did not embarrass me. He removed himself from a situation where I lied to his face. I said I did not lie. I said he forced that question in public. He asked if I was still seeing Caleb. I said no, and I said Ethan was paranoid. He asked if I could promise it. I said he should trust me. He said trust was not a switch he could flip. I said he was being cruel. He said he was being careful. The next day was a family dinner at a restaurant with a long table. Renee insisted on it. She said we needed to show the kids we were fine. I agreed because I liked the word show. Showing was my skill. At the restaurant, Renee sat beside me like a guard. Ethan sat across near the kids. Marjorie came too, and Gavin came with her. Daphne even showed up at the end to support me, which made it feel like a hearing, not a dinner. Renee asked Ethan why he had been acting cold. Ethan said he was focusing on the children and work. Renee asked if he was going to punish me forever. Ethan said he was not punishing anyone. I said he was punishing me by refusing to talk. He said he would talk about schedules, school, and bills. I said he was hiding behind logistics. Daphne jumped in and said Ethan was trying to control the narrative. Ethan looked at her and asked her to stay out of his marriage. Daphne asked why he was scared of women speaking. I said that was exactly it, and I let the table watch him. Mia asked why everyone sounded mad. I said no one was mad, and I said adults just had big feelings. Ethan told Mia they were okay, and that she did nothing wrong. His voice softened for her. It made me look harsher, so I quickly said Ethan was being sweet now, like it proved he could be sweet if he wanted. Gavin asked me to stop turning the dinner into a public fight. I said his family was ganging up on me. Marjorie told me calmly that shame was not a solution. I asked why she always defended Ethan. She said she defended what was right. I felt heat in my face because right sounded like a weapon. When we left, Ethan buckled the kids into the car without speaking to me. I asked if he was going to freeze me out forever. He said he was going to keep things respectful. I asked what respectful meant. He said it meant no more public posts and no more insults in front of the kids. I said he could not tell me what to post. He said he was not telling me. He was asking me to stop harming the family. Later that week, at the supermarket checkout, Ethan and I stood side by side with the cart like strangers. The cashier asked if we found everything. Ethan said yes. I said nothing. Ethan paid and kept the receipt. He folded it carefully and put it in his wallet, not crumpled, not casual. I watched his hands and felt a small worry grow legs. That night I heard a low hum from the office room at home, like a shredder. I walked by and saw the door mostly closed. A faint toner smell slipped into the hallway. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing old papers. I said he was being dramatic again. He said organization was not drama. I went back to the bedroom and opened my phone. I wanted to post something sharp, something that would make people choose my side. Then I remembered how Ethan stayed calm at the restaurant, how he answered only about the kids, how he never gave me the explosion I wanted. That calm started to feel like a wall I could not climb. By the time the weekend came, I felt like I lived with a quiet stranger who knew all my habits. Ethan did not chase me anymore. He did not beg. He did not shout. He moved through the house like he was following a map I could not see. The guest room door stayed half closed most nights. I noticed the bed looked used, not messy, just slightly pressed like someone had slept on it and made it again. I asked if he was really going to sleep in there forever. He said he was choosing peace. I said he was trying to punish me with distance. He said distance was not punishment, it was protection. That word made me angry. I asked what he needed protection from. He said he needed protection from lies, from public humiliation, and from being pulled into fights in front of the kids. I told him he was acting like I was dangerous. He said he was acting like a man who learned a lesson. I started doing small things to make him react. I left my phone face up on the counter and let Caleb's name show on the screen when a message came in. I waited for Ethan to comment. He glanced at it and said nothing. He rinsed his mug, set it far away from mine again, and walked out. I followed him to the stairwell landing and asked if he even cared. He asked what I wanted him to say. I said I wanted him to admit he still wanted me. He said wanting me and trusting me were not the same. I said trust should be automatic in marriage. He said trust was built and it could also break. I said he was cold. I said he pushed me away for years. I said he left me lonely, and lonely people did stupid things. I made it sound like a math problem with only one answer. Ethan listened with his arms at his sides. He asked if I heard myself. I said I heard myself fine, and I was finally speaking my truth. He asked why my truth changed, depending on who was watching. I said he was twisting my words. That afternoon, I went to the gym lobby even though I did not plan to work out. I told Ethan I was going for my health. He said okay, and asked what time I would be back for dinner with the kids. I said I did not know because I did not want to give him a clean timeline. In the gym lobby, Caleb was there like he belonged. He asked if I was okay. I said Ethan was acting like a robot. Caleb said Ethan sounded controlling. I said that too, because it was easier when someone agreed. Caleb asked if I wanted to get coffee. I said it was only a quick coffee. I told myself that quick erased meaning. When I got back home, Ethan's car was pointed toward the street, not tucked in like usual. It felt like a signal, and it made my chest tight. Inside, the house smelled faintly like printer toner. I asked if he printed something. He said he printed a school form for Mia. I asked why he needed to print it at night. He said it was easier when things were ready. I walked past the small home office and saw his laptop open for 1 second. I did not see a letterhead or anything official, but I saw a clean file tree on the screen. It had plain names like Archive A and Archive B. I asked what that was. He closed the screen calmly and said it was organization. I said he was acting dramatic with archives. He said he liked to keep records. I laughed and asked if he was going to grade me like a teacher. He said he was not grading me. He was protecting the kids and himself. I said he was using the kids as a shield. He said the kids were not a shield. They were the point. Later, when I put dishes away, I heard a soft click again from the same drawer in the kitchen. The sound was like a lock. I asked if he locked a drawer now. He said yes. I asked what he was hiding. He said important things. I asked if he meant money. He said he meant documents, keys, and items that should not go missing. That comment felt like an accusation, even though he did not say my name. I told him he was being paranoid. He said he was being careful. I said careful was just fear with a better outfit. He said maybe fear was reasonable sometimes. The next day we met at the school playground for the kids. I wanted a public place because public places made Ethan behave. He always behaved anyway, which annoyed me. Mia ran to the swings. Noah chased a ball. Ethan stayed near them, steady and quiet. I walked up close and asked if he told his family lies about me. He asked me not to do this here. I said he was embarrassed because people would see who he really was. He said people could see enough already, and he did not want the kids to hear more. I said the kids already knew Dad was mad. He said the kids knew Mom and Dad were not okay, and that was why he was changing how he handled things. Mia came over and asked why Dad did not sleep in the big bed. Ethan told her he and I were working on grown-up problems and she was safe. His voice was gentle. Mia looked at me and asked if I was mad at Dad. I said no, and I said Dad was the one mad at me. Ethan did not correct me in front of her. He only asked Mia if she wanted to play on the slide. That made me feel like he was winning. He looked stable. I looked sharp. After the playground, we drove home separately. When I pulled into the driveway, Ethan was in the garage with the trunk open. I saw a small box inside. He moved it out of sight when he noticed me, like it was nothing. I asked what he was doing. He said he was sorting household items. I said he was planning to leave. He said he was planning to be prepared. That night, I tried a different tactic. I went soft. I asked if we could restart. I said I was sorry if he felt hurt. I made it if, not for, because I still wanted to keep my pride. Ethan asked what sorry meant to me. I said it meant I wanted peace. He asked if peace included honesty. I paused too long. He noticed. He said he would keep communication simple. He said he would talk about the kids, schedules, and bills. I said that was not a marriage. He said the marriage changed the moment I made it public. I asked him what he was going to do. He looked at me without heat, without shaking, without anger. He said he was going to handle it properly. They found me in the downtown office lobby, right next to the holiday display and the coffee cart. I had come in early to feel normal. I was holding my badge when a stranger stepped close and asked if I was Eulalie March. I said yes, and I asked what this was about. The stranger said they had legal documents for me and asked me to take them. I tried to smile like it was a mistake. I asked if they meant Ethan. The stranger said they could not discuss details, and they said my signature was not needed for service. Ethan stood a few steps behind them, calm, hands empty, face tired. I asked why he would do this at my work. He said he did not choose the place to shame me, and he said it was the safest public place to keep it clean. I looked down and saw his name on the first page. I saw words like temporary orders and parenting schedule. I saw a line about use of the home for now, and another line about not moving money from joint accounts without notice. I saw a section about public posts and harassment, and it mentioned social media. My throat went tight. I asked if he was trying to ruin me. He said he was trying to stop the damage. I said I had only kissed someone. He said it was not only a kiss, and he said it was the lies, the posts, and the public humiliation. I asked if we could talk privately. He said we could talk through proper channels, and he said it would be about the kids only. I asked what would happen today. He said the schedule started today, and he said he would pick up the kids from school like usual. I watched coworkers pretend not to stare. I wanted to post something fast, something sharp. Then I opened my phone and saw my reunion clip was gone, and my last draft post would not upload. Ethan walked out without looking back.